Here on Continental Wrestling, I'll be defending the USA Championship against the Dirty White Boy, and we will find out who the real Dirty White Boy is.
From the Montgomery Civic Center, get ready, wrestling fans, for the superstars of the Continental Wrestling Federation. This week, tag team action from Doug Furnas and Butch Cassidy. Also, the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller. The Dirty White Boy. The Party Patrol, Johnny and Davey Rich. Wildcat Wendell Cooley. And many more. Now, here's our host, Charlie Platt.
Hello, everybody. Charlie Platt again with the Continental Wrestling Federation from the Montgomery Civic Center. You can see the match is about to take place in a few moments. And the challenge made last week accepted. The Tennessee stud defends that USA Heavyweight Championship against the challenge of the Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here with us because a lot of action today on the Continental Wrestling Federation. Right now, let's go to the ring for our first match of the day.
This special mixed tag team event is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Dallas, Texas, weighing in at 220 pounds, Mr. Martin. His partner from parts unknown, weighing in at 130 pounds, is the Masked Midget. Their opponent from Texas, weighing in at 125 pounds, Butch Cassidy, with his partner from University of Tennessee, weighing in at 272 pounds, Doug Furnas.
Okay, it's Butch Cassidy teaming with Doug Furnas to take on Mr. Martin and the Masked Midget on the Continental Wrestling Federation. Interesting matchup this should be. And special rules apply to this match. Ring official Larry Brock will certainly have his hands full in this one. It'll be the Midget starting out. Butch Cassidy against the Masked Midget. Side headlock by Butch Cassidy. As we said, hold on to your seats. What an hour. The Continental Wrestling Federation. Don't go anywhere on this one. Big matchup between the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller, and the Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. Also in action today, we'll be seeing Brad Anderson. And action from Wildcat Wendell Cooley. The Riches will be in action. Plus a host of others on this edition of the CWF. And what a matchup that will be between the Tennessee stud and the Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. Mark your calendars down, wrestling fans throughout the CWF. Action coming your way this week. Tonight, we're going to open at the Houston County Farm Center. Special night in Birmingham tomorrow night, Sunday night. That's right, Sunday night is a special wrestling night in Birmingham, Alabama at Boutwell Auditorium. And also Monday we'll be in Wewachuca, Florida at the high school. Tuesday, Graceville, Florida, Poplar Spring High School. Wednesday, we're in Meridian, Mississippi. The CWF in action on Thursday in Rockwood, Tennessee at the high school. Friday, a big You Can Live night in Knoxville. And Saturday, March 11th, the CWF returns to Chattanooga. Right now in the ring, Doug Furnas. Backs away as the tag is made with the Masked Midget. Therefore, enter Butch Cassidy. Cassidy really keying on the head of the Masked Midget throughout this match. Coming soon, Tri-City Tag Team Tangle in Bristol, Tennessee. All right. There we had a little miscue on the part of Mr. Martin. The Masked Midget, good drop kick by Butch Cassidy. What action we're seeing on our opener here on the CWF. Mr. Martin now finding the masked midget not too pleased with the turn of events that took place moments ago during this match. And we might see some problems erupt between these two. I tell you what, Mr. Martin of Brisbane has problems with some of his partners, and whoa! High flying Doug Furnas with that drop kick. And Mr. Martin wants no part of that. He about rearranged the head of Mr. Martin, and now it's Martin out on the concrete trying to gather himself together from boots and concrete. The Tennessee stud Ron Fuller not intimidated one bit in the least by Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony's challenge on last week's program. He accepted the challenge, and the USA Heavyweight Championship goes on the line in a matter of moments on this program. A main eventer. There you see airplane spin by Butch Cassidy, and he continues with it out of that suplex. Going for the pin. Oh, my goodness. Mr. Martin might as well have stayed at home tonight. Doug Furnas takes Butch Cassidy high into the air, flying body press, and Indian flying from way high in the air. And your winners of the match, the world's strongest man, Doug Furnas and Butch Cassidy, in mixed tag team action on our opener of the Continental Wrestling Federation. Oh, boy, what an hour we have for you. Don't go anywhere, because the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller defends the USA Heavyweight Championship next. Right now, some very important information about how you can have the Continental Wrestling Federation in your local area. Watch this brief message, and stay with us. The excitement in the air here in Montgomery, and the USA title goes on the line next.
The Continental Wrestling Federation is a great way to raise funds for schools, clubs, and other non-profit organizations. Bring the stars of the Continental Wrestling Federation, like Nightmare Danny Davis, Willie B. Hurt, Dr. Tom Pritchard, and the Dirty White Boy to your town. For information, call Ron West at 205-979-7463. That's Ron West at 205-979-7463. And bring Continental Wrestling to your area.
This match is scheduled for the USA Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, accompanied by the Dirty White Girl from Bucksnort, Tennessee, weighing in at 242 pounds, the Dirty White Boy. His opponent from Knoxville, Tennessee, weighing in at 270 pounds, the USA Heavyweight Champion, the Tennessee Stud.
6'9", the Tennessee Stud, stepping in the ring to defend the United States USA Heavyweight Champion against the Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony. And what a matchup this is for television. Challenge was made last week by Tony Anthony, accepted by the Tennessee Stud, Ron Fuller, and third-generation wrestler that he is. I've known Ron and been personal friends with Ronald for a number of years, going on 13 years now. And I guarantee you one thing. This man does not back up from anyone. Third-generation wrestler from a family with a wrestling background that could fill an encyclopedia and dictionary. Good reversal by the Tennessee Stud. Whoa! Anthony catches that boot right to the side of the face. Suplex. 6'9", the Tennessee Stud goes to the pin early in the match. 2 count, and it'll take more than that to put down the dirty white boy, Tony Anthony. What an outstanding athlete in Anthony, and one that will do anything in the world to take that USA title from around the waist of the Tennessee stud. And some alarming things mentioned last week by Tony Anthony on this program, something that Tony Anthony knows to be true. That is the fact that the knee of Ron Fuller, the right knee, as you can see, heavily protected and guarded by pads and braces, has undergone on 3 occasions that I know of surgery. And Ron Fuller has been told in years past that he should give up professional wrestling. But you can see, as I can see, the man has yet to listen to any doctor he's talked to about the knee. And that is more than likely the way it will continue to be in the career of the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller. Now taking Anthony into those ring ropes. Ducks down. High flying action from the Tennessee stud, we should say there, on the part of Tony Anthony. Intimidated by no one. Collar and elbow again. It's Anthony with a series of rights and lefts. Good reversal by the stud again into the turnbuckle. He goes, oh, nobody home. Nobody home. And there went the knee into the turnbuckle, which, although is padded, ladies and gentlemen, there is steel underneath those pads, and the pad, believe me, is not very thick. And Tony Anthony is taking full advantage of the situation. He's going after the right knee of the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller. Applying the pressure. And obviously, the stud in pain. He is not letting up, continuing to pound away, drop the knees full weight into the injured knee of the Tennessee stud. Fuller looking for a way out of this one. Going after the chin of Tony Anthony. Anthony, though, has him right now. I'll tell you what. Anthony again dropping the knee in. The Tennessee stud may have overstepped his boundaries here on television. Anthony would like nothing more for a national television audience to see him do damage to the Tennessee stud, and most of all, take the USA Heavyweight Championship from around the waist of Ron Fuller. Oh, there again, going after that right knee, dropping the elbow into the side of the head. The Tennessee stud looking for breathing room and a moment to recuperate, but Anthony will not allow that, and Anthony, being pounded, he continues to pound back at the Tennessee stud. Oh, there's one of those. Oh, Fuller, takes Tony Anthony down to the canvas, favoring the left knee. Wait a minute, Anthony back after that knee again. The Tennessee stud in trouble here, and now Anthony taking advantage of that second ring rope, cutting off the air supply by choking the Tennessee stud. Anthony now takes the big 6-9er for a full body slam. All 270 pounds. Whoa, nobody home. Fuller moves just in time. Nobody home on that one. Now it's the Tennessee stud. He has a knee too, he says. Turnabout, fair play, and it's the Tennessee stud really going after the knee of Tony Anthony. Fuller leg lock. Fuller leg lock. Mr. Perfect Jerry Stubbs comes in. He was going for that Fuller leg lock, and Mr. Perfect Jerry Stubbs hits the ring. Referee Randy Anderson nailed by Tony Anthony. And now Mr. Perfect and the Dirty White Boys go to work on the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller. A little assistance being held, put into the ring by Mystic. And they are going after that knee. Definitely going after the knee. They need some help. Here comes some help. Wait a minute. Stubbs catches. Oh, out goes one man who tried to get in. They obviously intend on doing some damage to Ron Fuller here. Going to try to break this situation up. Well, it ain't gotten 6 seconds. This thing is getting way out of hand. Let him go. The Tennessee Stud fights back. The Tennessee, he's got about 4 men on him, and he is fighting his way out of this as well as he can. They have him down again. Here come the Richards. This thing is getting way out of hand. We need to get out of this.
Introducing first from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 208 pounds, Bo Elliot. His opponent from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 220 pounds, Brad Anderson.
Brad Anderson taking on Bo Elliot on this edition of the Continental Wrestling Federation. Anderson's second-generation professional wrestler from an outstanding family background. Got an elbow center of the ring. Elliot backs Anderson over into those turnbuckles. Boy, what a fight erupted and a brawl erupted in that USA Heavyweight Championship match moments ago. Tony Anthony, a man of his word, set out to injure the Tennessee Stud Ron Fuller and to strip Fuller of the USA Heavyweight Championship. We saw the ever-present Mr. Perfect Jerry Stubbs get involved in the situation. No clear-cut match there, but I tell you what, good arm drag takedown by Anderson. Certainly, Ron Fuller does not, he's like an elephant. He does not forget anything, and what almost took place with that knee moments ago will be remembered by Fuller for quite some time, maybe until he gets even. Side headlock. Clamping down with the pressure. It's Brad Anderson and Bo Elliot in the ring right now. This Friday, Knoxville, Tennessee, you can rent night. Saturday the 11th. The Continental Wrestling Federation will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, hometown of Terry Bam Bam Gordy. And we'll be talking with Terry a little bit later on about some things that have taken place recently on the program. Last week, the battle that erupted between he and the big man from Texas, Black Bart. Hopefully in Chattanooga some things can be... That's it. That is it. Your winner of the match is Brad Anderson on the Continental Wrestling Federation. We've got a lot of great action still to come. I want you to stay with us. Wildcat Wendell Cooley will be in action. Big Bam Bam Terry Gordy will be out. A lot of action, including the Riches. So you stay with us. We'll be back after you watch this about wrestling in your local area.
Don't miss the
Columbus, Mississippi. They gonna bid me against a dadgum human being that calls itself the dog. He wears a dadgum bone. He ain't combed his hair in about 10 dadgum years. Well, I'm going to comb it for you, boy. I'm going to straighten that hair out. And you know how? I'm going to hit you right in the top of the head. And when I do, it's going to straighten all that dadgum hair out.
Wildcat Wendell Cooley will be talking with Terry Bam Bam Gordy in a matter of moments. A lot of great things happening in the CWF, a lot of great action still to come on today's program. One of the big tag team combinations that are making waves in the CWF and will be reckoned with for those CWF Tag Team Championships down the line somewhere is a team called the Hunters, no longer under the management and guidance of Jonathan Holliday. They're still wreaking havoc in the CWF. Let's take a look at their match right now. Interesting point you brought up. Might add a little to that. I'm sure the hunters will be looking very closely at this big winter heat wave coming up. The situation in the cage between the Riches, Stubbs, and Anthony, because I'm sure, as you said, Tom, that they have their eyes set on the CWF Tag Team Championships, but you have another team lurking in the wings, that team being, of course, the Japanese connection, Mr. Chono and the RPM. So on any night, things can change in the complex of any wrestling organization. We've seen that recently with the AWA Heavyweight Championship. We see it every day, and the competition is really getting keen in the CWF. These hunters, excellent tag team combination, exhibiting some of the best teamwork of any tag team that's been in this area in some time.
Well, if you notice, the Hunters got Jonathan Holliday sitting at ringside with them. They've obviously employed him in some manner or fashion, but you're right when you talk about the Japanese connection and Mike Davis, the RPM, because everybody is setting their sights on the belt, the Continental Tag Team Championship. You got the Riches, you got Stubbs and the Dirty White Boy, and everybody is trying to get one thing or another. And when you talk about the winter heat wave and you talk about the AWA champion, you talk about the gutless Jerry Lawler from Tennessee, who is just like everybody else in the state of Tennessee when it comes to being gutless and not making your commitments. That's when you know who the real champions are and who are the ones who want to sit behind a paper and a desk.
We're opening up fire on both of the hunters, and a good drop kick takes one of the hunters out through the ring ropes. Holliday on the floor assisting his man, and the ring ropes goes, whoa, beautiful move. Greatly executed, lightning fast reflexes by the hunter.
They're tag team specialists. They look alike. They train alike, man. They might even think alike, because that's what makes a successful tag team. And when you talk about all the great tag teams here in the CWF, they just might become one.
Wrestling returns to the home in Dothan, Alabama, the Houston County Farm Center tonight. Tomorrow night, Pensacola, Monday, Birmingham's Bapple Auditorium, Wednesday, Meridian, Mississippi. We'll talk about more great wrestling action. And right now, I'll tell you what, your winners of the match are the Hunters. Certainly, war has been declared on Black Bart from Terry Bam Bam Gordy. We'll see why and talk with Bam Bam right after this.
Don't miss the Continental Wrestling Federation.
Well, Friday night, March the 17th, Columbus, Mississippi, you're going to get a chance to see Nightmare Danny Davis teaming up with the world's strongest man, Doug Furnas, going against a pretty tough team known as the Hunters. Well, you've seen them in action. You know what they're capable of. We know what they're capable of. But right there in Columbus, Mississippi, it's our town, baby. So we know we got a lot of support from all those fans there. We know they're going to get behind us. Well, let me tell you something, Hunters. You better bring everything you got, because it's sure going to take a whole lot to beat Nightmare Danny Davis and Doug Furnas.
That's why Al comes to Bonanza Restaurant, where every dinner includes our all-you-can-eat Fresh-Tastics food bar, free drink refills, even free desserts. And where right now our all-you-can-eat golden fried shrimp dinner with all the Bonanza extras is just $6.99.
You know what I could really use? Some extra room.
The extras,
Now, and Terry, I'd like to say this. Anything can happen on any night when you step into the ring with any opponent. But last week on television, when you and Black Bart, two, as Dr. Tom Pritchard called it, two original mean men of wrestling squared off with each other, reputations can be hurt in any television match, and you two ended up in a riot.
Well, there's no doubt about that, you know, and speaking about Black Bart, if Black Bart wants any piece of me, he knows where to find me at, you know, and you know what I'm talking about, and that's the last house on the right. You know, they don't call me from Bad Street for nothing, you know, and I'd just like to say this, Black Bart, if you want a piece of me, come on down, take a walk down Bad Street, because I got something for you, boy.
For those who might not have been watching last week, we had a melee between those two in this very arena. Right now, let's go back a little in time and take a look at what happened between Bam Bam Terry Gordy and Black Bart last week. The strategy has been thrown out the door on this one right now. It's turned into a slugfest between Gordy and Black Bart. Black Bart going over the top rope, and Gordy right on the floor to take... There, oh, man. This is erupting into a battle between these two giants.
Well, I know Bart's not going to back up, and I know Gordy ain't going to take too many steps backwards either. But you see, this is what I'm talking about, because you got two original bad guys. You got two guys that don't care. If you want to fight, they'll fight. If you want to wrestle, they'll still fight.
And this one has been counted out by ring official Larry Brock. The battle continues on the floor, getting way out of hand at this particular point. Way out of hand.
I don't know if I want to be that.
Well, certainly, there's no satisfaction on the part of either one of you.
Well, that's right, you know, and like I said before, if that guy wants some of me, then he's got it right here. If he don't want to come to where I'm at, then the Big Daddy will come to him. You know, it's just like that, man. I'm out here to wrestle. I'm out here to make a living. And if this guy wants to try to stop me from doing that, then he's got another thing coming. You know, it's like this. Charlie, you know, when it all comes down to it, and when it's all said and done, Terry Gordy's going to be out there kicking somebody's butt. The people out there know it, you know it, and I know it.
He can back up what he says from Bad Street, Bam Bam, Terry Gordy. Let's see about wrestling in your local area right now. I know you might get some satisfaction in Chattanooga on the 11th.
Well, there's no doubt about that. That is my hometown, and I'd like to say hello to everybody out there. You know, and if he comes to Chattanooga and he wants to start some stuff with Terry Gordy, then like I said before, I'll take him, we'll fight just like we fought right here. We'll fight out that auditorium door. We'll fight all the way down Main Street, and I'll take him to the Market Street Bridge, and I'll throw him over, and we'll get in there, and we'll fight in the water, man. It don't matter to me. We'll fight all night long. There's going to be a fight in Chattanooga wherever it takes place.
Bam Bam, Terry Gordy. Here's what's happening in your local area. Then back with... Thank you, Bud. Back with more action in just a moment.
This is going to be a great night for a fight. And I can tell you why. Because you got a drugstore pretty boy looking cowboy that wants to take a shot at the CWF heavyweight champion. And I could think of no better place than to beat this guy up in front of a lot of rednecks, a lot of people who worship Wildcat Wendell Cooley. And I'm going to show you why, Mr. Cooley. I'm the champion, and you're not.
The schedule for one fall. Introducing first, from Pace, Florida, weighing at 224 pounds, Tim Dawson. His partner from parts unknown, weighing in at 220 pounds, The Count. Their opponents, weighing in at a combined weight of 460 pounds, Johnny and Davey Butch, and Party Patrol.
There we have the Rich Cousins, Johnny and Davey. In action on today's edition of the Continental Wrestling Federation. And certainly, things are beginning to steam up between these two and the Japanese connection, Mr. Chono and the RPM. Hopefully, we'll find out what good arm drag takedown by Davey Rich. Arm twist and drag on the count as he applies the pressure. And good double drop kick by the Rich Cousins. Another double drop kick on Dawson. And the count. And his partner out on the floor, courtesy of Johnny and Davey Rich. The count back in the ring. And looking for a bit of protection behind ring official Larry Brock. Good arm drag by Johnny Rich. And they are really keying on the left arm of the count. Next week, we'll see maybe why the Riches want the Japanese connection. Last week we had a couple of incidents in the week before even where the Riches and the Japanese connection clashed. Not in action against each other, but over other incidents taking place in other matches. We know the Japanese connection and the RPM have made contact with the Riches on numerous occasions, and no one will speak up as to what is taking place between these four individuals. Dawson falling victim to Davey Rich, who has that left arm tied up. Like to makes the tag with the count. Good arm drag takedown by Davey Rich. And again, they go after the left arm of the count. Excellent teamwork on the part of the Riches. Oh, run into that brick wall, will you? Tag was made in like a fine oiled machine. These two are really shining in tag team action in the CWF. Well, we've got a moment or two during this match. I'd like to remind you, tonight in Dothan, special night, Sunday night spectacular in Birmingham. Monday, we will Hitchcock, Florida. Tuesday, Graceville, Florida, Poplar Spring High School. On Wednesday, we're in Meridian, Mississippi. Thursday night, the CWF, Rockwood, Tennessee at the high school. Friday, Knoxville, you can rent night. And Saturday, March 11th, the CWF and Terry Gordy returns home to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Whoa! High back body drop. The wind is gone from the sail of the count. Good drop kick by Davey Rich. Don't forget, wrestling fans up around Bristol, Tennessee, the Tri-Cities Tag Team Tangle is coming your way. Abdominal stretch being applied by Davey Rich on the count. Let's see if we can get a submission here. Rich now takes a stand-up full body slam. Tag is made with Johnny Crash Rich. Whoa, man. That'll do it for that one. Your winner of the match, the dynamic tag team combination of the Rich cousins, Johnny and Davey, on this edition of the Continental Wrestling Federation. Wildcat Wendell Cooley will be in action on today's program. A lot of great matches still to come. We certainly want you to stay with us, and a lot of things happening around the CWF. As you just saw earlier in the program, the tag team combination, or the singles competition between Tony Anthony, the Dirty White Boy, and the USA heavyweight champion, the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller. Coming out to join me now, the Japanese connection. We're talking about Mr. Chono and the RPM, and a lot of things are happening throughout the CWF.
おいよく言ったからこっちが違うんだジャパニーズだジャパニーズコネクションがよく言ったけほらここぶち取ってやるよほらゴーダゴーダになるてめえらよく言ったけほら俺がぶっ潰してっからなほらよく言ったねほらマイク言ったねほら
Once again, I'll rely on your interpretation.
Is, you know, we've been watching these idiots, the Party Patrol, and it seems like anytime anybody gets in just a little bit of trouble, the Party Patrol, the Riches, come out and stick their nose into business, like they stuck their nose into our business. And we got a piece of tape, Charlie, and I want you to show it because I want everybody out here to see just exactly what kind of stinking guys these Riches are. Why they stick their nose into everybody else's business. Show the tape.
Let's go back to last week's show. And the Japanese connection certainly causing a lot of waves in the CWF. Tag is made with Mr. Chono, the man with the money, we might add, from Japan.
Well, you got a guy like Mike Davis, who I've known Mike now for a little while, and he's got a devious way of thinking. You got a Japanese guy here that he's showing the ropes over here in the United States, that gives them endless resources, money to go out, and they acquire businesses over here. And from what I understand, he may be even trying to acquire the Continental Wrestling Federation for their own purposes. You see?
Wait a minute.
Well, you never know. Mike's been talking about getting companies. Mike's been talking about ruling the professional wrestling scene right here. And right now, they're on the road to doing it. Chono and him work so good together as a team. They're like a fine-tuned machine. And the Rich, or whoever these guys are in the ring right now, you gotta be careful.
It's over. Your winners of the match are Mr. Chono and the RPM, the Japanese Connection. They're just not letting this thing in.
Oh. They want to make it impressive here, and if it's got to be some guys like this, they're going to make it some guys like this. This is what could happen to anybody that sits in the ring against the Japanese Connection. A DDT. That shows you.
Well, we'll see. I tell you what, this is certainly uncalled for. And we got some help out here. The Riches are getting in the ring. What's going to happen? Let's get out of this. Well, I would have to admire Johnny and Davey Rich. Obviously, you were not satisfied with a win over your opponents in permanent damage.
Don't tell me who you admire, Charlie Flats. You understand, they stuck their nose into our business, and we've got a very big surprise for the Riches. Maybe, Chono-san, maybe we buy Continental Wrestling Federation, hey? 俺が勝ってやるおら。俺がボスだおら、ジャパニーズがボスだおら。USA はこれだおら、ヤンキーはこれだおら、よく言っとけおら。All he says in general is riches beware.
The comments of the RPM and Mr. Chono. Let's see how you can have wrestling in your local area. Take a look at this right now. The team of the Party Patrol, the Rich Cousins, and the Japanese Connection. And frankly, gentlemen, I'd like to know what's going on under the surface.
Hey, that Mike Davis, we've always had a feud with him. Me and Johnny have fought them RPMs up and down the road, bloody matches. Hey, we got something they want, and they want it. Tell them to come on and get it, Charlie. Tell them about it, Dale.
Well, Charlie, you know the thing about it is they call themselves the Japanese Connection. But, boys, we got something you want, and we got it, and we're saying if you want it, just come on down and try to get some of it, because the Riches ain't backing up from nobody, Charlie. You know that. The Riches have never backed up from nobody, and we ain't getting scared of no Japanese team, and that's for sure.
Well, a lot of words have been said. Certainly this will have to come to a head somewhere. Say what, we've got a lot of great action on the CWF.
Come on down, Japanese Connection.
Wildcat Wendell Cooley's in action next. You stay with us.
Introducing first from Hollywood, California, weighing in at 250 pounds, Gene Spurlock. His opponent from Milton, Florida, weighing in at 232 pounds, Wildcat Wendell Cooley.
Well, the Wildcat is in the ring. Wildcat Wendell Cooley in action on this edition of the Continental Wrestling Federation. What an hour it's been so far. Wendell Cooley back in the CWF, and he made it very plain. And a conversation last week on the program, he has the CWF Heavyweight Championship on his mind. And Wildcat Wendell Cooley is the kind of man that once he has something on his mind, he is not satisfied until he accomplishes what he might have on his mind. High back by the Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Don't forget, a big lineup of the CWF this week tonight. Dothan, Alabama, Houston County Farm Center on Sunday night. This Sunday night, a special Sunday spectacular in Birmingham's Bapple Auditorium. Monday night, we will Hitchcock, Florida. All you folks in the Panhandle area, make your plans to come out from Panama City, all in that area. Come on down to Weewa and enjoy some of the best in professional wrestling at the high school. Tuesday night, Wicksville, Florida, Poplar Spring High School on Wednesday, Meridian, Mississippi. It's over. Your winner of the match is the Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Thursday night, we're in Rockwood, Tennessee. On Friday, Knoxville, you can rent night, and March 11th, the CWF returns to Chattanooga. We've got more to come on the Continental Wrestling Federation. You stay with us right now. Take a look at what's happening in the CWF and your local area.
Just small setbacks, so right now we've gone into single competition. And on the 17th of March, at Columbus, Mississippi.
I kind of been in hiding. I'm going to go in hiding.
You going in hiding?
Yeah, so they won't know where I'm at. I'll be behind you, though.
There you go, baby. You heard it live here first. So, Columbus, you get ready. I don't care if it's Wendell, Cooley, Davis, Riches, whoever. You get ready for the baddest man in the CWF area.
All right, back at our podium, the Japanese connection, the RPM, and Mr. Chono.
The Riches, we've got you. We've got you right where we want you. We've got such a surprise for you, Riches. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Mr. Chono and his great Oriental mind. Riches, yeah, you've got something we want, and yes, we're going to come get it. But the surprise is yours, and you'll find out soon.
All right, very straight into the point. Straight into the point, Mr. Chono and the RPM, the Japanese connection. And hopefully next week we'll find out more on the situation going on between the Japanese connection and the party that's called the Rich Cousins. What an hour we've had, and as they leave our podium, USA is a chant by this great crowd here in Montgomery. Next week, in addition to all your favorite stars of the CWF you've seen in action, add to that list, the Dog will be with us live on next week's television program of the CWF. Plus, next week here on the CWF, you'll see the return of the Hustler, Rip Rogers.
And Nightmare Danny Davis, he's going to be returning. That's for sure. Everybody out there likes to have a good time. And when Nightmare Danny Davis is around, it's going to be some good romping, stomping action. And that's a promise, Charlie.
Thank you very much, Nightmare Danny Davis. And personal note, that Hustler Rip Rogers knows about that U.S. Heavyweight Championship, junior heavyweight title. He knows all about it. He's had it before, and I'm sure as he comes into the CWF, that's going to be very much on his mind, Danny.
Well, I can promise you one thing. If it's on his mind, that's great, because I love competition. I thrive on competition, because when my opponent's tough, that just makes me better.
Nightmare Danny Davis, thank you for coming out. What an hour we've had. Don't forget all the things that are going to be taking place next week right here on the CWF for the